Hey everyone, welcome back. In our last video, we explored Napoleon Hill's really powerful ideas about the mastermind and having a definite chief aim. But even with a clear goal and great allies, there's this major roadblock most people face: fear. And tied right into that is the lack of habits that actually build personal power. So today, we're tackling two more foundational principles from Napoleon Hill's The Law of Success: self-confidence and the habit of saving. Ready to learn how to conquer fear and build the discipline that leads to financial freedom? Let's dive into lessons 3 and 4. Okay, so Hill starts by digging into how we learn, especially how we learn fear. He calls it the Law of Social Heredity. Basically, it's all the beliefs, habits, and fears passed down through our environment, especially when we're kids. He shares some pretty vivid examples from nature, like a mother grouse teaching her chicks this intense fear of humans with just one frantic display, or a pet crow abandoning its comfy life after being scolded by wild relatives, a fox learning to steer clear of skunks after just one bad run-in, even a dog finally respecting chickens after a memorable fight with a protective mother hen. These stories really show how powerfully our experiences and suggestions shape how we act, often installing fears that limit us without us even realizing it. And the biggest fears Hill identifies? The fear of poverty and the fear of old age, often linked together, right? He argues these fears drive us relentlessly, sometimes causing us to overwork, and ironically, bring about the very things we dread. But self-confidence? Well, that starts with eliminating fear. How do we do that? Through auto-suggestion, consciously feeding your mind positive, powerful beliefs. Hill actually provides a practical tool for this: the self-confidence formula. It's a 5-point declaration that you write down, memorize, and repeat every day. It involves affirming your ability to achieve your definite purpose, demanding persistent action from yourself, concentrating on the person you intend to become, setting clear goals and fair compensation, and committing to acting with truth and justice, attracting cooperation by serving others first. This constant repetition basically rewires your subconscious mind, replacing fear with faith in yourself. He connects this directly to the power of habit. Just like learning to write involves repeating motions until they become automatic, repeating the self-confidence formula builds the habit of belief. Hill likens habit to a groove on a record. Once it's formed, the mind just naturally follows it. The cool thing is, you can intentionally create habits that lead to success. And this brings us right to lesson 4, the habit of saving. Hill sees saving not just as managing money, but as a fundamental character-building habit. It's crucial for achieving freedom and power. He argues really forcefully against the slavery of debt, especially debt for stuff you don't really need, those non-essential luxuries. Debt, he says, paralyzes ambition. It destroys self-confidence, and it fuels that fear of poverty. Now, he does make a distinction. This isn't about debt taken on for business or assets that can actually generate income. So, to master the fear of poverty, Hill gives 2 steps. First, quit buying on credit and pay off your existing debts. Second, make saving a regular, non-negotiable part of your definite chief aim, even if it's just a tiny amount to start. This builds what he calls the prosperity consciousness, replacing that poverty mindset. And as your earnings increase, your savings should increase proportionally. He provides some pretty stark examples, like the tragic story of W.C. Freeman. This guy was an advertising executive who earned millions, but saved absolutely nothing. He eventually faced bankruptcy and huge regret. Freeman admits, "My only regret is that I spent all of my money, and more besides. If I had today the 10% I could have saved easily, I would have $100,000 safely invested and no debts. Ouch." Hill contrasts this with stories of people like Rockefeller, James J. Hill, or the founder of the El Producto cigar company, whose early habit of saving, even from tiny earnings, provided the foundation for vast fortunes and opportunities later on. A small savings account, Hill insists, often provides that crucial leverage needed to grab unexpected opportunities when they pop up. So how much should you actually save? Hill suggests a guideline of saving about 20% of your income, alongside planning for living expenses, education, and recreation. Now, he acknowledges this might seem high, but he stresses that the habit is more important than the amount you start with. The discipline you develop through saving builds self-control, courage, and freedom from fear. All right, folks, that's it for today. What books have inspired you to build better habits or conquer your fears? Share them down below. Let's learn from each other. And if you found these principles valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe for more insights from the world's greatest success literature. Now, are you ready to take that specific self-confidence formula and start applying it daily? Do you want to learn exactly how to create a personal budget that includes the habit of saving, no matter what your current income is? These practical steps are really crucial for turning these principles into actual results. The Law of Success is just a deep well of wisdom. It offers concrete strategies, not just theories. It's about taking control of your mind, your habits, and ultimately, your destiny. To truly master these concepts and explore all 17 laws, maybe consider getting the full book. You can find Napoleon Hill's The Law of Success Volume 1 using the link in the description. Thanks for tuning in. Build that confidence, start that saving habit, and I'll see you next time.